Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa. It is an absolute honor to be live here in Los Angeles with Bianca De La Garza. I am so excited you are here with us today.
I'm so excited to be here with all of you. I love the show, and I love what you're doing right here in my backyard. It's incredible. Yeah.
Love you.
You've done over the past 20 years, Emmy Award-winning producer, host. You have created so much content and built an empire for yourself.
Jasmine. Yeah.
You really are a walking mogul.
Oh, well. Well, I'm a sitting mogul right now, and I do appreciate it because it's been a long morning already.
You walked in with those Louboutins, and she owns it. Let me tell you, this is a girl boss right here.
Oh, thank you.
So take us back to your journey.
Sure. In a nutshell, I started my life as a journalist, and I was always interested in talking to people and getting their stories. So I'm really a storyteller at heart. And I grew up a daughter of a flight attendant, so the world to me was a very small place at a very young age. She would go to another country and come home and cook dinner. And I was like, Mom, where were you today? Oh, she was in Bermuda. So for me, I've always sort of had this global view of the world. And as I traveled through journalism, I was so lucky. I lived in San Diego for a few years. I got to cover every type of possible disaster and joy, you know, from winning a Super Bowl and staying next to Tom Brady and interviewing him to, you know, talking to someone who just lost their home in a wildfire or someone who was smuggled across the border and died. So it really was this fascinating view on the world and on people.
What was the genesis, though, for you pursuing journalism? When did you know you wanted to be a journalist?
Yeah, I just didn't want to work at a desk job.
Understood.
I get it.
My mom's on a plane. I can't be in a cubicle. But the older I got and I realized being on TV, as you all know this, there's sort of a persona that you are then expected to have. So I could not have a bad day. I was doing this morning show. And it was like I would have a pimple and a viewer would call and my boss would call me and be like, what's wrong with your face? And it's not even a slam on him or the viewer. It's sort of a look at society and where we are, where you cannot be anything but perfect. And the standard, I think, has caused us to sort of become very unhealthy. And why I created In Glow We Trust is because this is a product where we want to shift that narrative and we want to make people feel that they are good enough and they already are beautiful. And there is that inner glow that we have to foster. And it's so important in this day and age.
It is vital. We have a look at the commercial. Let's take a peek.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey, I didn't see you standing there. My name's Bianca, and I want to tell you about BDG Beauty and In Glow We Trust. We're shaking things up in the beauty industry. For years, we've been told what beautiful is, defined by a select few, and fed to us by mass media. But I believe less is more, and you are enough. We've woken up. Their definition of beauty never reflected all of us. It was unattainable and unrealistic. It's time to change the outdated narrative on beauty. A one-step product, instant radiance, pampering your face for the future. Because let's face it, there's no reason to cover up. We trust ourselves. We know where we're going. Join us.
Cut. Got it. Oh, these.
Who wants a smoothie? Can I see it?
Yeah, let's watch it.
In the
Cute.
glow,
That's
awesome.
cute.
I
So we
trust.
talk a lot about consciousness and how the glow comes from consciousness. We love that conversation around here, so we
Okay,
want
good.
to talk about that.
Well, I think that, you know, there sort of has been a sense where people, and social media, of course, adds to this, you know, we're comparing ourselves to other people and we're trying to find sort of this happiness and we're looking externally, right? So get more Botox, get more surgeries, and then you'll feel good. But people do all this and they buy 20 products, they go broke, and the joke is on us because everyone else just got rich and we still feel empty and depleted. So we're saying at Bianca De La Garza Beauty, we're not saying don't get Botox, we're not saying don't get a boob job, do whatever you want, but it's the intentionality. So the inner thought, the intuition, and we all have our compass. We know what feels good, but it gets a little bit tricky when you deal with media. And I know because I was a member of the media. So it was done to me in a sense, like I had to be a persona and it wasn't good enough if I didn't look a certain way. So I understand now that veil has completely come off. And I think it's my mission now as the founder of this company and as a producer, and we will be producing digital series about this topic of beauty, to really create a platform that's a catalyst for this discussion, which I'm so grateful that we're here talking about it today, because this is what it is. This is the start of it, that we're even just acknowledging what's going on in our society.
Is there a moment when you said, I've had enough?
There were a few.
We want to hear
There
those.
was a few when I was covering the news and I was covering tragedy after tragedy. And I was waking people up in the morning telling them that there was a car crash and there was a pedophile in their library and they should be scared. And I thought, wow, everything that I thought about journalism and changing the world and exposing, bad things has now twisted. So I physically got sick. I actually, which I believe, if you're surrounded by toxic news and headlines, there's no way you can't let that seep into the fiber of your body. So I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And that was in 2015. I started my production company. I launched my own late night television show, which was on in 20 million homes. And I said, we're going to do a positive, happy show and we're going to have fun because life is short. And so during all this, the product was born because I needed something light I could wear on my skin. I didn't want to wear heavy makeup. And so I kind of created this hybrid line, which is it's makeup and skincare all together for the modern woman. You could wear some too, though. I mean,
I'm down. I want to be glowed up. I don't want to be
I
glowed
think
up.
one of ours is a little light, Rob. You could wear it just for a little
Happy
shine.
to do it. Absolutely.
But I love that what you've created too is also very conscious. It's 100% vegan. Tell us
Yes.
about your decision in going that route.
Well, there's no other way, right? I mean, we want to be sustainable. I have a child, my daughter, who's here, Danica. She's 12 years old.
So cute.
We'll pull them in for a cameo at the end. And I think that, we know that the world has to, think about what resources we're using. So it was important to me to have a product, GMO-free, vegan, and good stuff for our skin because, we're at that time too where women have such longevity. I mean, we are getting older, but we're living longer. So I wanted a product that would be packed with great benefits, and we call them youth boosting. We are not anti-aging at Bianca De La Garza Beauty.
Youth boosting.
We want things that make our skin are enhanced, and that's what the line is really about. It's enhancing what you have. Isn't that what the French women have been doing forever, right? Je ne sais
mastered
quoi.
it.
They have.
They have.
And you look at a French woman, you're like, damn, she looks so good. What is it? Because she owns her beauty. She doesn't let anyone tell her, today you need a blowout, today you need fake eyelashes. She's like, you know what, today I need a cigarette and a coffee. And that's the French way. So can we take it in the American version and kind of say, how do we as women and as a society own our beauty and give people their power back to decide, yeah, it's okay if you're not perfect today because perfect's an illusion.
So how are you doing it still in the face of the media?
I mean, there is hair extensions in my hair right now. I'm not going to lie, of course, but but we should talk about this because if I didn't have them, what would the message be? I mean, it's like there is sense of let's be honest. I'm not going to say every day I wake up and I don't wear makeup, but there are days when I don't want to wear it and I want that to be okay. And I think also too, the sense of, just having discussions about it is the most important thing.
For sure, absolutely.
I absolutely love what you're doing here. Completely love it. And I think part of it for me also, and I love what you said there at the end, because I think there is sort of a tightrope that most of us feel, particularly in LA, but all over the world that are in entertainment or on TV, where you want to live, sort of an unconditionally happy life from the inside out, but you also want to put your best foot forward. And I love that you're doing that not only with your life, but also with your brand here. It's fantastic.
And you have to be honest about it. I mean, we'd be lying if we didn't say we didn't pick our outfit today and do this, and that's it. But that's okay. And you were talking earlier about how you said you go from
I'll go from the gym to have to go to a red carpet event.
And that's great, but that's your life, and
It
it's
is.
good that that's your life, and we should be supportive of people's lives. And I think that there's a sense of wanting to, put people in a box. And another thing that's so important is the diversity and the global inclusivity. I spoke at the Vatican about a month ago on a panel called Humanity 2.0.
At the Vatican, like in the Vatican.
Like in the Vatican.
Yeah, she has a girl boss right here.
And it wasn't a Christian thing. I mean, it was all faiths, but it was talking about this world and how are we going to, for lack of a better word, survive if we keep treating ourselves this way. And I think that there is there's something bigger than this in all of this. I love the product. I stand by it. It's a wonderful product. You'll love it. You'll buy it again. But more than that, it is about saying, hey, you know what, we need to impact change. What is the one little way in our own world that we can impact change? And whether it's you guys interviewing certain people, bringing awareness to topics, this is what needs to happen because we've all woken up and we know
Absolutely.
we know what the future is if we keep going down this path.
It's so interesting to navigate that in media. And, Erin and Rob and I talk about that all the time. Our world is spinning. I feel like I'm doing the best I can to keep up. But I know that the calling and the purpose is so much greater than me trying to get my hair right to go to the red carpet and whatever. I got to keep up because the purpose is so great.
It is. And I think there's sort of a nice shift that we're seeing with other companies about clean makeup, less is more, and, being able to not feel so pressured to be a Barbie. And it really is, it starts so young, right? We're little girls, and this is modeling. We don't even know it's being done to us. We don't even know as a consumer, when you go into the makeup counter and you're looking at the names of some of these things, you should look at some of the names. They're all hypersexualized. And it's like, listen, we can own our sexuality and we can feel sexy, but why is everything marketed to us being trophies? You know, we have brains, we have, you know, a lot of things to offer other than that. So I think it's just a really nice time where I'm so excited about the future. I really think this is such an incredible time for not just women, but for society in general, because we can have this discussion on levels we've never been able to touch before.
Right.
Preach.
So,
Love
we're almost out of time, but I do have a personal question as
Yes.
far as, I mean, you have been a host and much more than that for many, many years. Any tips you can give us?
I think you guys are doing
work?
amazing. I don't think you need any tips here. I think what it is about supporting one another. And like there are days where you're a little tired, and I know that, you know, you start early in the morning here. So as long as you have somebody who like picks up the speed for you, it's kind of like any relationship, right? Like someone has to have your back. Like if they know, like you're not knowing where the next camera is, the next question, you know, as long as you're in tune with each other. But I think your show is incredible, and I'm so thrilled that I could be a part of it today.
Thanks so
And we'll be producing content through my production company, Garza Digital, about beauty and really this new narrative that we want to create. And I would be honored to have you on my show.
Absolutely.
We are
It
all
would be
love
our,
that.
Thank you.
it
Love
would
to
be
have you
our
back as well.
pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.